everyone. I hope you're all having a wonderful week. My name is Nilla, and this is Midnight Blues and Other Musings, a figure skating podcast. Cece is on vacation, so we have a special guest today, Sarah, who is Costa Warrior on Twitter. Sarah, how are you doing today?
I am doing very well. How are you? Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, we're so excited to talk to you today. I drove for the first time. We were talking about this before the recording
Yeah.
started. I feel good. I feel like a god, honestly.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
exciting.
it's
When you
exciting.
finally get behind the wheel, it's like you feel like you just have so much more freedom. So
Yeah, yeah. My driving instructor was like, "Oh, you're so old to be taking classes. You have not gotten
you're
your
not. I
license."
didn't get my license until I was 18, and I literally got it 2 weeks before I started college because my
Uh-huh.
mom forced me to, because I
Yeah,
just did
yeah,
not want to drive.
yeah,
Like, not at all. So
yeah.
you are fine.
Yeah, I do need to. I do need to drive because when I have my own apartment next year, I am so excited to have that added independence. I never have to rely on friends ever again, and I'm so happy about it.
Yes.
I'm like a
Yes.
baby.
All
And
good
friends just
things.
to, like Uber me everywhere. But yeah, so a lot of skating news this week. I'm personally very happy about that.
Yeah. Was it just me? But I've been studying for the bar, so I feel like I have no sense of time other than we're this many days away from July 27th. So when I saw that the Grand Prix had dropped, I was like, what? I thought that wasn't happening until like July. And then I
Yeah.
realized, like, shit, it's like it is July, like it's the
Oh
end of
yeah.
June. So
Yeah.
it was like a pleasant surprise, I thought.
I was surprised. I'm like trying to keep myself busy. I'm studying for the LSAT this summer, and I'm taking two classes at the local college. So I've been keeping myself busy because if I have free time, I go crazy. So this was a very very lovely surprise for me.
Yeah,
I hate when we don't have skating news. I
same.
need to like consume. I need to consume media, and I need new information like every second, or else I
Yeah.
do it. But yeah, okay. So we'll start with some general news of the week, and then we'll
Yeah.
go to the specific Grand Prix assignments and kind of our like thoughts. So yeah, rumors are that Alyona and TJ Nyman have split, and he and Delilah have now shut down their social media. And I personally think that this means that the safe sport investigation on both of them has amplified. They're going to get suspended soon, or or it means nothing. Like it could be either of the two things.
Yeah. When I saw the news that TJ and Delilah had shut down their social media, I agree. That was the first thing that came to mind, was that either something happened with Safe Sport and they know that, some kind of sanction or, news release is going to come out. Or I kind of thought, oh, well, maybe after the photos leaked or I shouldn't say leaked, were put out of
Yeah.
Alyona and TJ, that maybe Alyona found a brain cell and wants to do what's best for her family and put her family first. But, we don't really know. But
Uh-huh.
I think that this can only be good news. I hope that we are closer to TJ and Delilah, you know, being brought to justice. Obviously, safe sport isn't it's not access to the legal courts, but it is a way to try and keep alleged predators out
Mhm.
of the sport. So I hope that it's true that this partnership is over before it even started, but damage has been done regardless. So
Yeah. I mean, a part of me is just like, maybe their off ice relationship has ended. That has kind of bled into their, on ice relationship, and they've possibly split. I was talking to Hannah about this. Hannah thinks that it means nothing, or not necessarily that it means nothing, but that they're just kind of keeping it on the down low. So we'll see.
yeah,
I personally think that this is a sign that they've ended, also because it is very weird for one partner to be in Italy or France, wherever she is, for Benoit's third week of his peak ice camp. It's weird. Partners follow each other to these type of camps. It kind of looks like she's on a guest coast. She's just there.
yeah. I didn't, I saw that she was in Europe on Instagram when I checked. I saw her Insta stories like a week ago, but at the time I didn't really think much of it because I was like, oh, maybe she just literally went back to Europe to see her husband and her baby. I didn't know what I don't know what her family situation is, but yeah, the longer she stayed there, I was like, shouldn't she be in TJ practicing for senior Bs, for challengers? So yeah, I think only time is going to tell how this is going to play out.
She's not listed on the guest coach. She's just like there. She's skating with like the 12-year-old skaters at peak ice camp. So I don't think it's a good sign. I mean, and it's a good sign for us, not her partnership, which is a good thing. Hope it's over. You competed at Broad Open. And she has her triple axel back. She did it in competition, and she also attempted a quad sal. Good for her. She's able to travel now between all three training locations.
Who is her coaching staff right now? Because I feel like I don't remember who she's with. She was with Tomzi, she was with Hamada. Was she working with Tammy? Like, I'm just not really, I can't remember who her coaches are.
She's definitely with Hamada in Japan. And I am obviously assuming that she's with someone in Colorado right now, or else she wouldn't have competed at Broadmoor Open. It's either Tomzi or Tammy. I think she has like 3 different coaching locations.
Yeah. Is she, and I think, I thought that she had previously announced that she was going to recycle her Lord of the Rings free skate from last season, but did she compete Les Mis program this week? I actually haven't watched her the footage. I've only seen like the footage of the triple axel, so I think is that true?
She did. I was seeing people like posting Yuna's Les Mis. I didn't watch Youngyu, but I did see the triple axel. I also did see the quad sal. The quad sal didn't look good. Was it downgraded?
I don't know. I'm gonna assume so, though, probably.
But good for her. I'm glad. I hope she gains consistency next season. Because those 2 spots are between, they're between
her, Yelim, Hein.
Yeah.
I love Ensu. I know she's had a rough couple seasons, but I really hope that this off season has been good for her, that she's been able to, get back into peak shape, and that hopefully we can see her, fighting for one of those 2 spots on the Grand Prix. So
yeah. This season has been rough for her. I hope she's doing okay. Yuzu, possible.
Yes.
Due to a Reddit thread, but I will say I am 80% sure it's fake. Only because the other music on that list have also been false. And
what was the other music? I didn't even see it. I only saw people freaking out.
Youngyu's music was on there, and it was like it was.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Yeah. Usually, I do believe these types of like leaks and skating rumors, but this one I'm a little like,
Yeah. Well, I feel like it was so funny because when I saw on Twitter that people were saying it's like Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence, I had never heard of this music before.
Yeah.
So when I saw it, the first thing that came to my mind was like the Karen Carpenter song. It's like Merry Christmas, darling. I was like, Yuzu skating to a song about Christmas? Like what? Like what is going on? And people were like, no, like this is like an actual piece of music. It's been skated to by skaters at the Olympics. And then when I listened to it, I actually was like, oh, I think this is a really nice piece.
Yeah.
It seems like something that would very much be, and I said this on Twitter, like in Yuzu's wheelhouse.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be upset if it was true, but I just
really hope it's true.
Yeah. I just always think it's interesting when, music leaks like this kind of happen and seeing how people react, because maybe it's just my perspective as a fan. And I don't know if you agree or disagree, but, I don't feel like a skater's music is like a state secret. Mm-hmm. It's going to be found out at some point, if it gets out, it gets out. But I just think it's interesting to see, the different reactions from people being like, how dare Yuzu's music possibly get leaked? And it's like, well, it happens.
Yeah, it happens to most skaters. It also it was we're in the middle of a pandemic. These things are going to get leaked. We have not had skating for a while. I mean, I did tweet about how we really need to stop infantilizing Asian skaters. This is something that's always on my mind.
Yeah.
I don't even mean like people, thinking that, Yuzuru and his Pooh Bear, like tissue box. I think so too. I tweet about it, an embarrassing amount, to an embarrassing degree. But I'm talking like babying him in terms of like this music stuff. Like, if it is true, it's not the end of the world. And
Yeah.
he probably doesn't care. And we
Yeah.
need to treat him like an adult. He is an adult. There's like this pattern from skating fans. Like you gotta be more conscious of the way you talk about Asian people. I notice it all the time, and it makes me really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I said it, because I was talking to Cece about this the other day, and I was like, I don't want to say it publicly, but it was kind of making me uncomfortable. So I'm glad I said it. And I hope people kind of are conscious of the things they say.
No, I agree. And I think that's an observation that, I've had, that I think a lot of people have had, but, people don't always want to say it because you don't want to get hate online, but I agree. And I think it's important to remember about Yuzu is that at the end of the day, this is a grown man who none of us know. We don't know him.
Yeah.
I always find it so interesting when I think of him that I honestly, I think a lot of times with a lot of North American skaters, even Russian skaters to a degree, you can kind of get a sense of what you think their personality is like from interviews and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I really don't know. I don't know who Yuzu is. I don't really have a good sense of his personality. He's very private. I'm sure maybe if I lived in Japan and I was able to, access Japanese interviews and stuff more, I would maybe have a better idea of his personality. But, to me, I think of him as being someone who is an incredibly hard worker. I imagine he's extremely ambitious. He's very determined. I feel like I wouldn't want to get on his bad side or like get in the way of his goals, because I think he's someone who is so fiercely competitive. But other than that, I don't know anything about him. And I think it's interesting to see the kind of the culture of the narrative that's created around Yuzu. He's like the mystery to me. Like I always think of him as just being like a mystery. Like, does anyone really know Yuzu in skating? Does anyone really know what's going on in his head? And I don't know. I kind of like that we don't. I like that he kind of keeps that distance.
Yeah. I totally admire him for his work. I'm a huge Yuzuru fan. I totally admire him. Like his work ethic, insane. Truly a hard worker, so ambitious. But yeah, okay. On his coaching situation,
What do you think of this, Mila? Because I have thoughts.
I'm 120% sure he will never be stepping foot in Canada ever. It's not happening. It's not happening.
I really have no clue what's gone on there. There have been rumors since like the 2019 season that maybe, he wasn't happy with his coaching situation all the way, and that Ghislaine was really taking over more of a main coaching role for him than Brian was. Obviously, I have no idea what's going on there behind the scenes, but I think after his interview with Worlds this past year, I think it was just so clear that, Yuzu has no plans to go back to training in Canada. He wants to stay in Japan. I can't blame him if he has unlimited ice access all to himself. I mean, this man is trying to land a quad axel. Like, I can totally see why he wants all that ice time and to just kind of be left to his own devices. But is Ghislaine, is he going to Japan to work with him? Like, I thought I heard something about him.
He didn't. No one explicitly has said that he's going to train with Yuzu, but I think that's more for privacy and security reasons, not because he's not actually going to work with him. He's going to work with Hamada, which I think is a great idea. If Rika is not able to go to Canada, I'm not sure if it's happening. I hope it's happening, but I don't think it is. It's almost July. I don't get any news on that front. I'm like, he has to be working with Yuzu. I knew for sure that he wasn't going back to. I mean, this is just like my my thoughts. I kind of had an inkling that he was not going to go back. People have been like, yeah, like the quarantine period is too much, and skaters don't want to take that time off from skating. But I think it's more than that. He's content staying in Japan, having that private ice time. I think it's incredibly dangerous. I will say that that he's exclusively doing like remote coaching, like he's being coached remotely.
Yeah.
I think it's dangerous.
It's interesting because I feel like everyone in skating has obviously had to adjust to the pandemic and to learning coaching and skating through essentially remote learning. I know that we saw during like the 2018-2019 season, Nathan was pretty much self-coaching himself when he was at Yale, and in my opinion, I actually think he was better than he ever was when he was self-coaching. I think whatever it was he was doing was working, but I do think that certain types of skaters can maybe thrive off of the self-coaching and might not need as much of the, one-on-one direct time with a coach. Obviously, I don't know Yuzo, I don't know his situation, but he strikes me as someone who is the leader of his team. He's steering the ship. He's going to do what he wants to do at the end of the day. And he's gotten older. He's not a super young skater anymore. And so it wouldn't surprise me if he kind of, looking at everything that's happened this quad and where he is in the pandemic, decided, I'm taking ownership of my career. I want to train the way that I want to train. Certain things are working for me, certain things aren't working for me, and kind of went from there. So I think we're just going to have to see how he looks on the fall circuit. But I like to imagine, I'm sure that he's got to have some kind of jump coach there with him to kind of rein him in. And if he doesn't, I'm happy if Ghislaine is going to be in Japan, that hopefully he can work with him. So
yeah, his ankle worries me. Yeah, especially because he's doing the quad axel. I honestly would totally understand, the remote coaching stuff, having a bunch of private ice time in Japan, had it not been for the quad axel that he attempts a lot and he has lingering ankle problems. So I'm hoping he's okay. I will say, I do think that in Toronto, he totally benefits from the off ice training time that he has and like the facilities that TCC has. So I'm glad that he's potentially going to have Ghislaine's supervision. I think that someone's so ambitious, especially like after Worlds happen, it's unfortunate that it happened, but I think that he's now more ambitious than he's ever been.
Yeah. And, I've gotten the vibe from him, from the interviews that I have read that he's done and the way that he's spoken about his skating the last couple of years, that I don't really think that his mindset or his goal is focused on winning the Olympics for a third time. I think that, maybe his new goal is he wants to land the quad axel. He wants to achieve this huge, technical feat in competition. And I mean, honestly, I don't know if we're ever going to see that happen. I mean, I would love to see it happen. I hope it happens for him, but I'm not, holding my breath for it. But I just hope that, if this is going to be his last competitive season, which I think a lot of people think it is, I want him to end it the way that he wants to and go it on a high note. So
I consider him the greatest of all time in men's skating. He's done, he's a 2-time Olympic champion.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Yuzu, in my opinion, I feel that his legacy is set in skating.
Totally.
He has nothing left to prove to anyone. I mean, he set how many records? He's won the world championships twice. He's won everything there is to win. He's won the Olympics multiple times. I mean, however he chooses to end his career, I think he's going to leave behind a legacy that will not be overcome for a very long time, if ever. So
yeah. Okay, so Misha Kolyada announced that he's skating to Schindler's List for his long program. What are your thoughts on this?
Don't like it.
Oh yeah.
I don't like it because here's my thing. It's not very often in skating, in my opinion, that a skater creates a program that becomes so iconic for them, that just works, that the audience clicks with so much, that judges love, the audience loves, that you love, and that works so well. And I feel like he has that with his White Crow program. And, even though we saw it a lot last season on, the Russian Cup series, it's only been performed internationally once, and it's such a beautiful program that I still think has a lot of mileage left in it. I don't think he's had his big wow, awe moment with the crowd with
Yeah.
it, that I think he could still have at the Olympics, maybe not at the Olympics, maybe at the World Championships.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just kind of like, why? Especially because Jason Brown has done Schindler's List. He's bringing the program back. It's Jason's program is very special. I don't see why you would want to invite room for comparison between the programs. And I know that earlier in the summer, I think it was Mishan had done like a poll, like, oh, do you want us to
Oh
keep
my
the White
God,
Crow,
no.
or do you want us to get a new program? And I just get the vibe that I don't think this Schindler's List program is gonna stay. I mean, I feel very confidently that either by the Grand Prix final or Russian Nationals, he's going to go back to the White Crow program. I don't think that this is going to stay for that long.
Yeah, I think that, especially for Misha, Schindler's List is an inappropriate warhorse. It is not appropriate music for him to be skating to. And White Crow was just so good. And Misha's problem is he has the tendency to melt down. He has consistency issues. When he's on, he is on. He is so damn good. Like, if he can eke out an Olympic bronze medal, I will be the happiest person in the world.
Yes. I want that for him.
I want that for him too. I'm 99% certain Russia's going to get that, team event Olympic gold medal. So he's going to have that gold medal, but I am hoping and praying he will get an individual Olympic medal, because the quality of he's such a good skater. He's such a good skater. And repeating White Crow would have kind of, in my opinion, helped him with that consistency, because I mean, I don't know.
It's such a beautiful program, and I just feel in my gut he's going to bring it back. So that's why I'm like, when I saw the announcement, I was like, really? But then I was like, you know what? He's going to bring back the White Crow. I just feel it in my gut. So I'm not even going to get that annoyed about it, because I think he's going to bring it back. So it's all going to be good. But
yeah, it's going to be good. Okay. Why don't we get started on Grand Prix assignments, and we can continue on with general news after we do that. So let's get started with ladies.
Oh God.
Yeah. What are your thoughts?
When I saw Scam and Skate Canada, I was just like, what? Like, what? These events are so stacked. Like, the Skate Canada ladies event could literally be the final flight of a World Championships or an Olympic Games. That's how stacked this event is. It's crazy to me. If we're gonna start with Skate America, right off the bat when I saw it, I thought to myself, okay, Sasha Trusova has a good chance of winning. She's got a very strong technical arsenal. As now that she's back with a Terry, I think as long as she just, lowers the quads, does 3 quads, of 2 types that she can land and gain consistency, I think that she would be a lock for the Olympic team. But it's going to be about consistency for her. But I think she has looking at the field and based off of what we know she could do at Worlds, obviously things change throughout the summer. We're not at Sambo 70. I was like, oh, Sasha could win this event. But, Daria is going to be debuting on the Grand Prix there. I don't know if she's going to have an Ultra C element by the fall. Do you think she's going to have a triple axel? What do you think?
No. I got a lot of shit on on my comments about Daria's triple axel and harness. And I was under the impression that she had been training a triple axel on harness for a while, meaning like for more than a season, because I distinctly remember hearing about Rosanov helping her with the triple axel and harness like a season ago, which is why I was like, it doesn't look great. It really doesn't. I think that, if this was in, her triple axel was in its like initial stages, maybe my comments would have been different, but I stand by what I said. I don't think that she's going to have a triple axel by fall. What do you think?
I really I don't know. I mean, I feel like with the Atari girls, a lot of time, sheer force of will
Mm-hmm.
is how these girls survive. It's how they make it as far as they do. So I don't want to count her out just
Yeah, yeah,
because,
yeah.
she could, for all we know, she could be landing a triple axel right now and she could show up with it at test
Yeah.
gates. But when you think in terms of, wow, they have at least 6 girls fighting for 3 spots on this
Yeah.
Olympic team. It's just insane. Like it's crazy. But I like Daria.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm excited to see her. I hope she has a good debut. Do you have the list of
I do.
who's
I have it on my phone.
okay? Who's competing at Skate America?
Sasova, Daria, Amber Glenn, Brady, Ksenia Snitsina, Youngyu, Yelam Kim, Kurakova, Johanna Yakoi, Kaori, and Satoko. What do you think? I'm very certain Sasha's gonna win. I think that Daria is going to beat Kaori. You
Yeah,
know,
okay, so when I saw the assignments, I love Cowrie. I
Mhm.
was like mad because I was like, so this is the one thing that I don't know for sure about how the assignments work. I know that assignments are usually, it's based off of who's seeded in the top 6 at Worlds. I
Mhm.
know that, podium medalists
Yeah,
obviously can submit the choices that they want. Obviously, the host feds have discretion, and
yeah,
then your personal federation has
yeah.
discretion. But when I saw this, I was like, why didn't you send Cowrie to Cup of China?
Oh
Why
yeah.
didn't we send her to International de Flop? Like, why are we not sending her to these other events that are less stacked? Because in my opinion, I think she is the strongest Japanese ladies skater right now. Her jumps have so much power. I think she's improved a lot artistically. And, it's no secret, I think that she was robbed of a world's title. If we had had fair judging, I think she would be a world champion right now. But I was just like, when I saw this, I was like, you're going to have her. Is Rika here too?
No.
Is Satoko here?
Yeah, and okay, I'm gonna say something. I love her. I love her so much, but it is so it's so unfair that like Satoko continuously has such strong federation backing. You know, this whole quad, especially after Worlds happen, and I love her skating. I think she's such a gorgeous. Her skating is beautiful. Her skating is beautiful, but they sent her to Cup of China, and they also sent her to Skate America against Kaori. And I'm still certain that Kaori's going to beat her, but I don't know. It's a little unfair that she was sent to Cup of China over Kaori or even Rika. It's
You know, my thoughts on Kaori are I love, or I'm sorry,
yeah,
Satoko.
yeah,
I love Satoko, and
yeah,
I don't think there's any doubt that she really carried
yeah,
Japanese lady
yeah,
skating
yeah.
on her back last quad. I mean, she finished 4th at the Olympics. She's a beautiful skater.
Oh yeah.
Um, I don't, unfortunately, as we saw at Worlds, her jump content isn't where, she needs it to be more competitive. But I do think that she has benefited from showing up and doing well at certain events where some of her competitors, maybe like Wakaba, haven't. And I think because she kind of shows up when she needs to, JSF loves her and they're going to continue to support her. And, she did she medal at nationals this year? Yeah, she medaled at nationals. She made the world's team. I am not surprised that she got 2 Grand Prix assignments. She's a beautiful skater. I can understand why people might be frustrated that other skaters, maybe
Mhm.
aren't getting assignments. But I love her, and
Yeah, yeah,
I see why. I see why
yeah.
the Japanese Skating Federation keeps giving her assignments because she's done a lot for them, and I think that she is still fighting.
Mhm.
I think she is fighting to have her jump content get
Yeah,
better. And I love Satoko. Like, I love watching her skate. I thought that her long program at nationals was beautiful. I love her, and I'm excited to keep seeing her skate. So I hope she does better
I hope
on
she does better too.
Grand
She's
Prix.
reworked her, she's reworked her tech. She's going to have, she's obviously going to have issues. She is older.
Yeah.
But I'm very happy that she's, kind of escaped and, trains with Lee, and I think that coaching
Yeah.
situation, I think it works really well for her. She
Yeah.
seems to be comfortable, and that's all that matters, really.
I hope she gets back into Canada. I know that she was training with Yuka
Oh,
Sato in the, yeah, she,
she's not
um,
in Canada yet?
no, so last heard a few months ago when she had to go to Japan for like NHK, she couldn't get back into Canada at the time because of the quarantine travel restrictions. So she was like training in the US, I believe, with Yuka Sato, who was like helping train her for World. So I hope at this point that Satoko has been able to get back into Japan, or I'm sorry, into Canada to work with Lee. So
I hope so too. Oh my
yeah.
God.
Now I want to know your thoughts on this. Were you surprised that USFS gave the scam spot to Amber and not Alyssa? Because I was a little surprised that Alyssa didn't get the Skate America spot.
Yeah, but I think you made a good point in the notes that I don't think that with Amber's consistency, she's going to have the same benefit with international judges that Alyssa is going to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is actually a safe option for Amber simply because you are in the US. She's going to benefit from scoring. And I think that she got lucky with this. She needs to up her consistency. I think that she could potentially get that Olympic spot, but right now I'm pretty certain it's going to be Brady, Karen, and Alyssa.
I think that with Amber, she, in a way, I feel like USFS hasn't always given her the opportunity to gain the consistency. She got the silver medal at the at nationals this year. They didn't name her to the world's team. And I understand why they selected Karen, because Karen has a lot more international experience. Judges really love her. And look what happened. At the end of the day, Karen showed up and did what she needed to do. She placed ahead of Brady. Like, totally understand that obviously this decision was justified. But I do feel bad for Amber, because I feel like, well, you can't always make the argument, well, she hasn't shown a lot of consistency, when it's like, well, how many opportunities has she had to compete? Is USFS putting her out there to give her the shot to get this consistency? So I'm happy for her that, she got Skate America. I hope that if there's a crowd there, that the hometown energy, is going to kind of push her through, and that she can have a good showing at Skate America, because I think that's going to be really important for her. We don't know yet who USFS is going to send to Nebelhorn to qualify that third spot. If it's her, that's going to be huge for her. And I think if she gets sent and she does well and she qualifies the spot, I think that's going to help her a lot going into nationals, but we're going to have to see. So it's going to be a big event for her.
I think it would be disastrous if they send Mariah. I think it is not safe to send Alyssa because, she's clearly still in like the beginning stages of kind of, regaining her Ultra C elements. I think Amber's the safest. And also with Brady, her getting hit with so many under rotation calls doesn't look like she's favored as much as she was in the past. Amber's a safe call. She deserves to go after that silver medal. And she's like TikTok viral, like 24/7.
Yeah, I forgot. She's always going viral on TikTok. So we'll see. Yeah. Do you know when they're going to announce who's going to Nebelhorn?
They should announce in August, right?
Okay. Yeah, probably. I hope Amber gets the opportunity to go. I feel like it's going to be between her and Mariah, because I feel like USFS really wants to back Mariah, and maybe they'll try to give her another opportunity to kind of make up for how bad she did at nationals, but I guess we'll have to see. But yeah, Skate America is going to be something, but the Skate Canada lineup, I was watching TSL because Megan Duhamel was there and she was discussing the Grand Prix assignments, and I thought she was so funny. She said something like, every time I look at the Skate Canada lineup, I always think to myself, like, why don't they want to protect like Canadian skaters more? Like, they never really save host spots. Like, they always invite all the stars. And when I saw the Skate Canada ladies lineup, I was just like, I feel so bad for the Canadian girls, like Maddie, Emily, and
Allison.
I'm just like, I am so sorry. They're probably
They're gonna be
like last place with
yeah.
all of these insanely talented like Russian, American, Japanese ladies there. Skate Canada's interesting.
Ed Barton got so mad at David Wilson's. Did you see like David Wilson had that like interview or whatever?
Yes, and I supported it 110%.
Oh, same. And Ted got so offended with the implication that Canada's not developing their skaters. You know, obviously, look at the last quad. You had like the Olympic gold medal. And I have noticed this trend with Canadian skating fans and Canadian coaches and figures. They somehow get very like mad at the implication they're not doing a good enough job to develop their skaters. And it's like, I don't mean to be rude, but you have like one skater who can do triples. Like you have one skater, and that one skater, unfortunately, you know, has had mental health issues in the past, and it's so unfortunate. But you're not doing anything to develop these younger skaters, and I hope Kaya is like going to do well.
I mean, look, I'm going to be really blunt here because I'm just going to be blunt about it.
Yeah.
I think that Ted and a lot of the Canadian coaches and skating fans that want to say that Canada didn't drop the ball on developing their next generation of talent, I just think you sound so incredibly naive. Like what sport have you been watching for the last 4 years? Because here's the thing. This isn't a problem that just happened this quad. This is a problem that I honestly feel predates to around the time of when the Sochi Olympics happened, because you know, Skate Canada was so lucky, beyond lucky, that Tessa and Scott decided to come back to competition. I mean, that was a huge game changer for them and getting them that team event gold medal at the Pyeongchang Olympics. But Tessa and Scott and Megan and Eric, well, now we know Eric is coming back, but you know, at the time, and Patrick, these are all skaters that went to 2 or 3 Olympic games. They were all either in their late 20s or their 30s in Pyeongchang. Why would you not think after the Sochi games, knowing that maybe these skaters had one quad left, that it's time to really focus on developing that next generation of talent? Because in Canada, in my opinion, they have the most depth in the juniors in ice dance. And that's not because of anything Canada did. That is because of Tessa and Scott's impact on young Canadian skaters who want to do ice dance because they watched them win the Olympics in Vancouver, or they grew up seeing them all over, during Canadian skating events. This isn't because of something that Skate Canada did. So I find it laughable when people want to get on their high horse and be like, Skate Canada did everything that they needed to do this season. They tried to host events. And it's like, no, they kind of really didn't. I mean, they didn't do any kind of like virtual competition in the fall like the US did with ISP. They did the challenge event in January, February, but they threw it together so last minute that a lot of skaters didn't realize that this was basically going to end up being their de facto nationals. There were various interviews with different Canadian skaters that, if you read between the lines, it was pretty clear that they didn't even think Worlds was happening, which is why they were shocked when, they found out that they had to prep for the World Championships. Some of these teams like Piper and Paul had already started choreographing their Olympic programs. Like, I just don't understand people that want to say that Mike Slipchuk and Skate Canada haven't failed at developing this next generation of talent. I mean, how do you go from having the gold medal winning team event team with your golden era of skaters, and now, in my opinion, they'll be lucky if they can even get a bronze in the team event? I don't think it's going to happen for them. I think Japan has a much stronger shot than they do at this point in time. And having really only Piper and Paul as your only medal contenders, I mean, this is where they're at. I think they're really lucky that Keegan did fantastic at Worlds and got them a second men's spot, because going into Worlds, I didn't think that was a guarantee at all. I was like, they're going to have one man, they're going to have one lady, they're going to have the 2 pairs teams and the 3 ice dance teams, and that's it. Sorry for my Skate Canada rant. This just annoys me to no end. I'm just
I completely agree with you.
Yeah. David, what did David Wilson say that was wrong? He said that they didn't focus enough on trying to get their
And
students to
it
be
was
to
like
get to compete.
ridiculously rude. I don't know if you saw his like Twitter reply, but
Who's with
Ted
Ted?
Bundy, he
What
was
did
like,
he say?
David doesn't have like the information behind the scenes. Like he doesn't, he's some of the stuff he said is untrue, and it's like he didn't say anything that was factually incorrect.
Ravi, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing his last name. Ravi literally had his students training outside for months on frozen lakes because they didn't have rink access. Ariana and I were talking about this so much throughout the season. We were like, why didn't these coaches, and maybe they tried behind the scenes, I don't know, why did like the cricket club, I am, Ravi, the coaches who are in, on the West Coast kind of get together and stage some kind of coup against Skate Canada officials and be like, you need to do something because these skaters need some kind of opportunity to compete because the Skate Canada Challenge was put together too late. I mean, I remember like, I don't even think Keegan was able to do it because they couldn't get someone in Alaska to go and properly record him. Like that's how it seemed like kind of thrown together this event was. Like it is what it is. Like
it is what it is. The ladies, I think that the ladies field makes me the saddest.
It's depressing
because when I think about the men's field, I actually feel like there's a ton of depth. It just like other than Keegan, the rest of the men are having trouble putting it together, and it sucks. But there's depth there. Unfortunately, there is zero depth when it comes to ladies. There's.
I think Maddie Skizzies showed a lot of promise in the short program at Worlds. She finished top 10. I thought she had a lovely job, or I'm sorry, she did a lovely job. Sadly, she didn't have the free skate she wanted. And the whole time I was watching her, I just thought, I feel so bad for this girl with how much pressure I know she must be feeling to qualify that second spot. And I put the blame on Skate Canada because, I don't think that like, how old is she, like 15 or 16? She had she's never really been to I mean, how did they not even given her like junior Grand Prix, like to have all this pressure at a pre-Olympic world championships? Like I felt so bad for her. And I think that she did so good considering the season, the lack of senior experience. Like she should be so proud of herself. And I hope that she has a great season and that, she can get that Olympic spot. So.
Oh yeah, 100%. I hope that they send her. It's just like it's so like depressing to think about like 2017 Worlds and the state of Canadian.
I know.
I think about that all the time, and then just like I see like these excuses being made on like Skate Canada's behalf, and it's like, I'll give like Ted as an example. Look, he's devoting so much attention and time to Russian figure skating. Has like you saw him like
I mean, look, Ted has an in with the Russian Federation. He has an in with the Terry.
Yeah.
He wants to keep doing what he's doing and have the access that he has. And, he's going to promote the agenda that he needs to promote. But I think that a lot of people see through it. And that's all I'm going to say because I'm trying to be nice right now.
I'm trying to be nice too. I'm not going to I don't want to be excessively rude, but it gives off the vibes that he is on the Russian Federation's payroll. That after that first secretary interview that he did years ago, it was like, it's pretty clear that he wanted in there. And I totally respect what he's done for. I have so much respect for what he's done for
junior skaters with the junior skaters.
It's beautiful, but he's quite literally the Skate Canada director of British Columbia, and there's something very like upsetting to me. Some of the comments that he makes about a Terry, and it makes me uncomfortable, and it also makes me uncomfortable. If his response to David Wilson critiquing the state of Canadian skating to kind of insinuate that David is lying or doesn't have all the information. It's very mean. But moving on to the Skate Canada field, I am hoping and praying Aliona. I'm hoping and praying.
Part of me like really wants to try and go to Skate Canada just to see her perform because I don't think I'll ever have another opportunity to, but I hope that she has an amazing skate. I mean, I'm not surprised that she has to compete against Camila because I think that she's being punished by the Russian Federation a little bit. And, when she debuted in 2019, she had both of her Grand Prix events with reigning world champion and Olympic champion Alina Zagitova. So I'm not surprised that she's going to compete against Camila, but I hope that she shows up, skates clean. I think she can medal.
She's gonna. I think she's. I think I'm pretty certain she's gonna get silver. It's gonna. The podium, in my opinion, is gonna be Camila, Alyona, and Lisa.
Is Tuktamisheva going?
Yeah.
Okay.
Rika's
Yeah, we'll
also
see.
going. I'm pretty certain Rika's gonna be fourth. Walkova's gonna be fifth.
Yeah, I see. I feel like I can't even make predictions because I just don't know how everyone looks right now. I don't know how everyone's conditioned, what everyone is landing. I think once we have Russian test skates and some senior Bs, maybe we'll have a better idea of how people look. But whoever gets to go to the Skate Canada ladies event, lucky you. That is going to be such an amazing event. I just hope that Skate Canada doesn't get canceled. I think that they just changed they're eliminating the mandatory 2-week quarantine if you're vaccinated. So hopefully, there's no issues and the event can happen. But I feel like it would be the most Skate Canada thing in the world for them to have the best lineup and like ladies and ice dance and have a great pairs event, and then the event get canceled because of their quarantine. So I don't know.
I will say, like, it would be cool if it, unfortunate for North American fans, but it would also not be terrible if it was like moved to Finland. I saw some people talking about that.
Yeah.
Which is like, I think it's a good idea. And it would be very like Skate Canada to kind of lose out on their opportunity of hosting this event. I will say though, I need Alyona to go to Canada because Vancouver, BC was where she won her title. And
yes, it's all coming together.
The way my brain works is that she's going to win Skate Canada because she won Junior Grand Prix in Vancouver, which means she's going to win Grand Prix final and she's going to win nationals and she's going to win the Olympics. That's how my brain works. So
you know what? From your lips to the skating god's ears,
I hope that all this is gonna happen.
Yeah, knock on wood. But it's gonna be exciting. But what's the next event we've got?
Cup of China.
Who's going to that? I can't remember.
Louina. I hope I'm saying her name correctly.
I pronounce her name Louina. Is that how you pronounce it?
Louina. Yeah.
Louina. Yeah, that's how I pronounce it too.
Maya's going to be there, Maya Kromek, Sofia Zakharova, Anna Shcherbakova, Brady, Yunsu, Satoko. Anya's going to win it. I'm pretty certain about that. Anya and Sasha, just like, in my opinion, it's pretty clear that they're, they have, okay. Less so Anya, but Sasha has a pretty easy ticket to Grand Prix final. I think that Anya does too, but I don't think that she's going to win IDF. I think that Alyona is going to win IDF.
It's with Anna, for me, I feel like her skating has deteriorated so much since she had COVID and she's had so many health issues, and she looked really rough at the World Championships. I mean, I don't think that those were the performances that she imagined that she was going to win worlds with. Obviously, I'm sure she's thrilled she won worlds. I mean, she's a world champion. I can't say if I think she's going to win her events, just because I think it's going to depend how her physical condition is. Yeah. I know there's been is this confirmed? I mean, there's been rumors that she
confirmed it on her Instagram that she has an injury.
Okay. Yeah. It's so, I don't know. I feel like Anna, though, I will never fully count her out because she has this Phoenix-like quality to her where I truly believe through sheer force of will and determination, she wills her way to showing up when she needs to, and it's usually at Russian nationals. So we will see what happens with her, but I don't think anything is guaranteed. I think it's all going to depend on how people look in the fall.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's really totally dependent on how she skates that specific day, because she's had so many injuries and health issues in the past, but somehow she always puts it together. NHK trophy, or sorry, what?
Oh no, I was gonna say, I feel like is Brady a Cup of China?
Brady is a cup of
I
time.
feel, you know what I thought when I saw the assignments? I was like, I feel like Brady could make it to the Grand Prix. I feel like depending how the fields are at Skate America, like if people show up, if people kind of don't have great performances, I'm like, I could see Brady like maybe getting like a bronze and a silver or something if she lands or jumps and doesn't get under rotation calls. Like, I don't know. I feel like she kind of got a little lucky with her assignments. Like she's not at Skate Canada, which is just fucking stacked.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to go to Russia where she would probably get buried by the judges. So yeah, we'll see though. Who's the NHK?
But Maya.
Oh yeah.
But I don't think that Russian Cup final is indicative of Maya's like
you know, part of me thinks that Maya achieved this amazing feat. Not only did she land the quad once, she landed 2 quads.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm just like, that was an amazing moment. Like I was just, when I was watching the Russian Cup final, I was like, oh my God, Maya's gonna win. Maya should win. Like give Maya this win. Like she deserves this win. And of course they gave it to Camila because, they gave it to her. But part of me kind of is like, well, this might never happen for her again. Like this just might not ever happen again.
Don't say that because she's going to somehow
make her way. Yeah, but you know what? The Russian tarot lady seems very confident that Maya is going to become a Tapateri girl. And you know what? Who am I to disagree? So we will see what happens.
I will say, I don't know if you noticed Terry's reaction after Maya's skate, but Terry
I don't remember.
Love that girl.
That's what the Russian tarot lady says. I don't know. She says she loves her.
I don't know exactly what she said, but something, I don't know. Like I think she and everyone else had kind of thought that everyone doubts Maya, and it's true. Everyone did doubt Maya, and Maya put it together. So good for her. But I will not say anything more because I'm not going to manifest anything.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I definitely though believe that Maya is going to get the host spot at Rostelecom, so she gets 2 Grand Prix too. I think that's definitely.
It's just like it's the mind games thing. It's a pressure thing. They want to see how she's going to perform at Cup of China. I think she's going to do fine. NHK Trophy. Rika's going to be there. Kari's going to be there, which is so dumb. Why are they both going to be there? This is so stupid. It makes me mad.
No one ever said that JSF was smart.
Well, they sent Aliona and. Well, Aliona was at NHK Trophy, as was Rika, and it's just so stupid because they were obviously going to make Grand Prix final together, and at that point, Rika had won Grand Prix final the season before that, and it was pretty clear to me that Aliona was going to win, and it was just so stupid, so bad for Rika's.
I always kind of just think that maybe NHK operates like Skate Canada, where they invite all the biggest stars. They want to have the best lineup. And I mean, in my opinion, usually Skate Canada and NHK are the best Grand Prix of the season. They usually both have really strong lineups, and so many skaters always say that NHK is their favorite event. It's well organized. They love the Japanese skating fans because they're so knowledgeable. So I'm not surprised that maybe they wanted to have 2 of their biggest stars there, but from like a strategic standpoint of let's space them out so you have a better shot of getting to the Grand Prix final. Yeah, I mean, it's like, okay.
It's going to be an exciting event. Kari, Rika, Trusova, Daria is going to be there. Alyssa's going to be there. Amber is going to be there. It's a stacked event. I actually think NHK is more stacked than Skate America.
I agree. I think so too.
I really do want to see how Daria is scored compared to.
Yeah, I hope that they send her to a senior B, because I would love to see ahead of the Grand Prix, like you said, how she gets scored, because we've only seen her last season. I didn't watch the Junior Grand Prix much during the 2019-2020 season, so I know that she was competing. I didn't really watch her, but this past season, the COVID season, we only saw her at domestic events, and so how is Russian inflated domestic scoring going to equate internationally? We're just gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. It'll be exciting. It's stacked. I'm really excited to see Olga.
Yes, she was.
I like her a lot.
Her and Luina were just like the queens of the free skate at Worlds. She was such a breath of fresh air. I am excited to see her. I hope she has great skates.
Me too. Let's talk about IDF. I will be at IDF, so
Oh yeah.
I'm so happy
Are
about
you
that.
gonna go for the whole? Are you getting like a whole event package, or are you gonna go for just like certain events?
Okay, I want to go like early Friday morning, and if I'm going to go, because I'm gonna be in London,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be studying there, so I do want to go like really early morning Friday, and I'm either gonna take like the train to Paris from London, or I'm just gonna go straight to, Lyon or Grenoble. We'll see. I think that I don't want to go for every. I don't want to go. I don't want to see men's. I don't care.
Yeah.
I just
I don't
don't.
blame. I don't blame you.
Yeah.
It's like my
Yeah.
unless it's like four continents men's, I'm like, I don't really care. So
Yeah. Like I just don't care. I honestly like even like ice stands. I would like really like to talk to Christina and Anthony again, like do another interview, which would be really
I
awesome.
would you should go just for them. I feel like they're gonna have a good season. Well, when we get to dance, we can talk about them. But yeah, I think that would be cool.
Well,
Um,
we are little secret. We are trying to get media accreditation. So
yes, gotta get that.
yeah, I do hope we get it so I can do interviews when I'm going to be in Europe, and
Yeah.
Cece can do interviews in North America, but we'll see. IDF is going to be exciting. I think that Alyona is going to win it. I am honestly pretty sure. But it is all conditional upon how Anya performs that day specifically.
Lots of factors come
Yeah,
into play. We'll have to see. But yeah. Is Mariah Bell gonna be there?
yeah. Karen is
Yeah.
also going to be there.
Oh, Karen, I feel bad that like she got lost in the shuffle a bit when I was like looking through these assignments. Like there was my mind has not, I don't know about you, but my mind has not like fully wrapped itself around the fact that Triple A and
Mhm.
Camila, Daria, and Maya are all senior at the same time now. Like it it's just crazy that a Terry has so many like multiple skaters at every event that I kind of like forgot about some of the American ladies.
I I'm gonna be honest. I don't really think about American lady skaters too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really don't. And
Yeah.
I actually like I'm a huge Karen fan. I love her skating.
Yeah.
Beautiful skater. I love her spins. But I will say I was definitely more focused on Russian and Japanese.
Yeah,
um,
no, for sure.
oh,
For sure.
Wakaba's gonna be there. I'm so excited for her. I
I
love
hope
her.
that I really, I think that if I was Wakaba seeing kind of how worlds played out, like I hope she had the summer of her life training. Because I think if she can just get her consistency back, I don't see why she wouldn't make the Olympic team. She's so strong.
I did see her
I
compete.
just kind of I hope that she recut the music for that Lion King program because that music cut was a choice. Did Shailin Bourne choreograph that program? Because it was like I was like listening to the music and I was like, this feels like a Shailin Bourne music edit. So like I hope that she re-edited the music because I like the Lion King. I just thought that some parts of it was like it was a little jarring.
Yeah, I think it's very much an Olympic program. I think it's a cute, it's a powerful program. But nothing will beat her James Bond program.
Part of me just hopes she kind of brings it back, to be
That's
honest.
it too. She did compete like a week ago. It
Oh,
wasn't great.
how was that? I didn't even watch
It
that.
wasn't great. It wasn't great.
Oh,
She was popping jumps again. It is
damn
like
it.
summer, and like I'm trying to kind of like I'm trying to tell myself like, oh yeah, like it's only summer, like it's the end of June, but that's kind of
We'll
an issue
see.
for her because she does have a good international season usually. She does have she made Grand Prix final at Olympic season, but Japanese nationals is honestly what I care the most for her
Yeah,
because
I mean, if she doesn't show up at nationals, they're gonna go by. They're gonna send whoever makes the podium at nationals. So she has to show up for
I don't
nationals.
think like I honestly I'm not even worried about her for the Grand Prix season because I think she's gonna do well. I think she's gonna be fifth and third at her Grand Prix events, which is fine. But it doesn't matter. I think that it's just Japanese nationals. That's
Yeah, that's gonna be the
yeah.
deciding factor. But yeah. So then we're gonna end up with Rostelecom. I still think it's weird that they changed the order. I feel like wasn't NHK like always the last event, and now it's for Stelicom. I'm just
Yeah.
like, okay, well, you know what surprised me, and I wonder if this was done well, is that obviously Anna was seated first, so she had first pick of Grand Prix events, and I was shocked that she didn't pick Rust Telecom. But
Mm-hmm.
part of me wonders if she didn't want to do it because she knew that the Russian Federation probably wanted Camila to be there to try to like boost her up. And Anna was just like, no, I don't want to do that, because it's like, I can't blame her if that's what that was, if that was more of like a Roosevelt decision. I don't know. But
yeah, I mean, Maya's gonna get that host spot, so it's gonna be Maya and Camila.
And maybe is Tuk Tomisheva competing there?
Yeah, I just saw that.
Maybe she'll get a bronze. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm looking through the list right now. I think it'll be Camila, Lisa, and Maya third.
Excuse me, I just choked on some water.
Oh.
When water just goes down the wrong way. My bad, guys.
I'm excited. Okay, I'm excited for Luina because it is always like every 2 years you have one European skater that gets Carolina Kostka overscoring. I'm not suggesting that Carolina is overscored, but with European championships, the inflation is insane, and it usually will bleed into their their scoring for other events. So I'm wondering, is Luina going to get some sort of backing? And
I don't know, but she was fucking fantastic at Worlds. She was so fun to watch and
so good. Oh my
god. I really liked the reason I like her and Olga were so refreshing to watch is I was laying in bed dying of COVID during Worlds. Oh yeah. I was so sick. Oh my god. Is that I like seeing some small fed skaters break through and have success, especially in ladies singles right now that is so dominated by Sambo 70 girls and the Japanese ladies and even the American ladies to a degree. To get to see small fed skaters end up in the top 10, and they placed pretty high. I think they placed ahead of Brady. I'm just like, it makes me so happy, and I hope that both of them have a lot of success this season.
I know.
And I hope that they place well at their Grand Prix events.
Yeah, me too.
Do we think that's really happening? Because I don't think that's really happening. I think that's
happening, but she did skate in Terry's shows, and she didn't look bad. I will say this: I want her to just not skate because
I think having a functioning back for the rest of her hopefully very long life, because she's so young, is more important than trying to come back at this point. Is she accredited with landing like one of the first quads in ladies skating? I think she is for 2019,
right? At 2019.
Yeah, 2019. She will always have that achievement. She will always have her world silver medal.
Yeah. And I think if I were her, I mean, of course I would feel disappointed as hell. Just thinking about how 2019-2020 season could have gone because of that world's medal, and it was such a big deal for Kazakhstan, especially after Dennis Ten's illustrious, he's such a successful skater, such an illustrious career, and it's a super big deal for Kazakhstan, and I'm so happy for her. And I get it. I kind of like, I don't know if you follow men's gymnastics, but
I don't.
Arthur, who's a Russian gymnast, he has a torn ACL, and like it's like severe. Like he said like, yeah, like people thought it wasn't severe, but it's like very much severe. Like I was in the hospital, and
I'm gonna sound dumb because I'm not an athlete, but like I there can be like a non-severe torn ACL. I thought if it's torn, it's bad.
So there were like claims that it was like a partially torn ACL, but he corrected everyone who's like, no, like it's very much like a severe, it's a severe tendon tear, and like, but it doesn't matter because I requested like an exercise mat when I was in the hospital and stuff, and he's going to the Olympics in 2.5 weeks. Okay. Like it is like very much like he wants to go. Like there's no one who can, tell him like, no, like you're going to hurt yourself. And I get it. Like I really do, because he's he's a ridiculously successful athlete, and an injury like that is it sucks. And I do kind of get it with her, because after that, like, after Worlds, she had to be gutted. But I just want her to like sleep all the time, and like just have
Just
a
want
nice.
her to not come back so her back stays healthy. I hope she gets to do all of the Team Tuparitsa shows, and that she gets to have a great show career in Russia and, in Kazakhstan too, with, I don't know what shows they have there. I think Dennis Ten's family has a show production that they do in his memory.
Oh, lovely.
But yeah, so we'll see what happens, but I don't think we'll actually see her at Rostelecom, but stranger things have happened. So.
Yeah. I will say, I do hope Kurakova switches to pairs, like ASAP.
Oh, is she
I
still at the cricket club, or has she gone somewhere else?
She also couldn't get into Canada because of the
Okay.
pandemic. I don't think that she's going to be coming back to Canada. She's
Gotcha.
living a very nice life. I think she's being coached in Italy.
Oh,
by
interesting.
the coach who coaches with Angelina Torenko. I forgot his name.
Okay.
I think so. She has a nice life there. She's like a boyfriend and everything.
Good for her. Hope
good
she's
for her.
happy.
I hope she does pairs though. That'd be lovely. I think she would really excel.
Yeah.
But yeah. Why don't we move on to ice dance?
Oh God.
Because I think I have a lot of thoughts.
Obviously, me being me, when I saw the Grand Prix assignments were out, the first place I went to was to check the ice dance assignments. And I was just like, I just thought that they were crazy. Like, I straight up was like, what the hell are these assignments? Like, what was going on? Yeah, I mean, I guess we can take it event by event, but they're interesting to say the least.
You know what? I think that, why don't we just talk, okay, instead of talking about like it by event, because that might be time consuming, why don't we just like, why don't we
just dive right into what I think we're both thinking
Why
about?
don't we talk about Miss Annabelle Morozov and Andre?
We'll
talk about that. Because I think that actually our listeners, I don't think all follow ice dance. So
yeah, I'm sure that they don't.
Might be a little confused as to, like, I guess my hatred for the nepotism. I'm sorry, my hatred for the nepotism. I'm gonna say this. So if you have ever watched Annabelle and Andre skate, you know that they fall every single time it is like, it's not even like a mistake on Twizzles. It's like they fall. And like, if they didn't fall, it's very clear that they would always be on the podium. With their dad briding and stuff. Nikolai Morozov is Annabelle's dad, who's also their coach.
Here's my thoughts on them. I think Annabelle is a stunning girl. She's absolutely beautiful. I very much appreciated her Tessa Virtue cosplay last year with her, Sympathy for the Devil free dance dress that had absolutely nothing to do with that program, but she looked beautiful in it. And I think she had a Tessa Virtue cosplay, Moulin Rouge costume that she wore for her exhibition. And I'm like, you know what? You go, girl. I too, if I was a skater and as beautiful as you, would want to pretend that I'm Tessa Virtue and hopefully, perform as if I was Tessa. I don't blame her at all for that. My thing about these events is this. First of all, I think it's very obvious that the ISU probably gave the federations more leeway than they usually do to assign these events. And, I have no issue if the ISU, or I'm sorry, if the Russian Federation wants to give Diana and Annabelle events, that's fine. But I do think it sucks for the other Russian ice dancers, because let's be real here, Russia has so much depth in ice dance. It's incredible. They have a lot of talented skaters, Sofia and Igor, Sofia Shevchenko, Igor Eremenko, obviously the wonderfully talented Elizaveta Kudaiberdieva, Skoptsova and Alyoshin are also there. So my thing is this. You look at all of these teams and, giving Annabelle and Andre, I call him Bag and Bazin because I mix up the names. I'm honestly not, I'm not going to even be bothered to figure out who was who.
Fans as well.
I'm not going to be bothered to figure out who was who, you know, Annabelle and partner, Diana and Gleb, you know, I think that I think it's a disservice to the other younger dance teams to shut them out of the Grand Prix in order to give Annabelle and her partner two and Diana and her partner two. I mean, right now Diana and Gleb only have Skate Canada, but I think we all know that she and Gleb are going to get the host spot for Russ Telecom. And I mean, I'm just going to say it. It's the nepotism girlies, like, you know, I mean, I think it's very clear that Morozov and Eteri obviously have a lot of power in the Russian Federation. They want their daughters to succeed in ice dance. And I think the Russian Federation is like, yes, we want to put them on the Grand Prix, get them out there. But I just think it sucks for the other skaters. Like, you know, obviously the COVID season happened and who knows what would have happened on the Junior Grand Prix otherwise, but, you know, like Diana and Gleb, for instance, they don't have any junior world medals or a junior Grand Prix final medal. I don't think Annabelle and Andre have any either. I don't think they've never medaled on the Grand Prix before. And you've got other teams like, for instance, Skopsova and Alyoshin. I'm so sorry if I'm butchering that last name. You know, they're the reigning senior national bronze medalists and they only got one Grand Prix.
I will say they were the junior world champions, right? And Stephanov.
Skopsova and Alyoshin.
Yeah.
Yes, they won junior worlds in 2018.
I used to really like them when they were juniors. Like I thought that, you know, she's super charismatic. I loved her skating. They've regressed a ton. And this is a pattern with top Russian ice dance. It is exclusively a pattern with Russian
and juniors, especially. Yes. They have all these juniors who win these junior world titles, and then they just flounder in seniors. Yeah, they just, you know,
it's
but crazy. Yeah, like.
Because even with Lisa Kudz, it's so unfortunate that her and Nikita broke up, but she and Igor actually had a good season.
Yeah, I think they did better than I was anticipating them to be honest.
I want to be honest, and this is going to sound harsh, but I think that they're going to be partners for only a season more max. It is actually shocking to me that Lisa did not end the partnership like at the end of this season, because that is kind of a habit with her. And
well, you know,
yeah,
I mean, we know that she's someone that's very active on social media. She knows what fans are saying about her, and I can imagine that maybe she doesn't want to have, you know, people to give her a reputation of being someone who dumps her partners and to get a new one, but in my opinion, I'm like, you know what, girl, you should. She is so incredibly talented. Like she is a mini Elena Elinik, in my opinion. That's how much
with good work ethic.
Yes, like I think she is an incredibly hard worker. She has so much talent. I mean, for anyone listening who isn't really into ice dance, but maybe you want to get into it, I highly recommend you go on YouTube and watch Elizaveta Kudaiberdieva and Nikita Nazarov's 2019 Junior Worlds rhythm dance. They did a fabulous tango. It's one of the best programs of this entire quad across the board, in my opinion. They had so much potential together. I am still so sad that they aren't skating together, but you know, I'm just gonna say it. If Vadem's Kolesnik's new partnership doesn't work out with his new partner, who we don't know who she is yet, I don't know why he hasn't called up Elizaveta. We know that they're friends. They're both talented. I feel like, you know, they'd be great together. Russia would be stupid, in my opinion, not to try and have him skate for them. But, you know, it's just sad. Like, you know, she's completely, you know, Kudaiberdieva and Bagambazin, I'm sorry, I don't know which one he is. They were both, you know, they didn't get any Grand Prix assignments. Shevchenko, Eremenko, former junior Grand Prix final champions, former junior world silver medal, or sorry, bronze medalists. You know, they also didn't get any Grand Prix spots.
They didn't even get one? Oh, they
No, I don't
didn't.
think they got any. It's just like, maybe we could have given 2 other spots also to some of these other teams, because I mean, if I'm thinking from like, if I'm a skater and I'm thinking from their perspective, like, if you shut me out of the Grand Prix, what incentive do I have to keep competing, especially when we're going into a new Olympic quad and you're kind of making it clear who you support and who who you want to push in ice dance next quad. I just think it's sucks for them. And I imagine that they're all going to be fighting their, tooth and nail on the Russian Cup series, to try and maybe get the host spot at Rostelecom, but I don't think any of those teams are going to get
it. Yeah, they're gonna fight tooth and nail. It's not gonna happen though. It makes me. It honestly, okay. This is more of a pattern in like Russian lady skating, but like I'll give you an example, like Gubanova, Anastasia Gubanova. One of my, she's ridiculously talented and stuff. You see skaters like her who have won junior Grand Prix medals, gone to the junior Grand Prix final, done so well. They don't make it to junior worlds, and even if they do, 2 seasons later after their standout junior season, they don't get any Grand Prix events, and they end up exclusively competing domestically. And the biggest events that they compete at are on the Russian Cup or the Russian Cup Series event. And never in my life have I seen that with ice dance until this season, like the coming season. Like that has never happened. We have junior world medalists who, because of politicking and bribery, now have zero chance of probably making another Russian national team.
Well, that's what's so interesting about this, is that when the Russian national team was announced, Morozov, Bagandazin, and Davis, Smolkin were on the reserve team. So I was like, oh, okay, like, shock. Like, maybe, all of the other teams who made the national team were going to get the Grand Prix. And then when the Grand Prix assignments came out, I was just like, where are half of these teams? Like, I'm also going to assume that how do I pronounce their last names? Shanaeva and Narjini.
Lisa and David.
Yes, I'm going to assume that because they medaled at Junior Worlds during the 2020 season, that's why they got Grand Prix spots over some of the other senior teams who had gone senior the season before and hadn't, done as well internationally. So, but good for them. But
I love Finnish skaters, even if they cannot skate. But I love them for their like vibes. They like all remind me of just like early 2000s, like Tanith Belbin White type like skater.
No, I just think that sometimes in skating, we just have a lot of pretty people, and pretty people, like you said, don't always have to skate the best. Exactly. But they know how to entertain, and that's what I like. So I love Sophia and Igor. I'm so upset that we don't get to see them on the Grand Prix.
Igor
are so creative.
So creative. Igor and Sasha Stephanova. They're so adorable. I think that their friendship is so cute. I like love seeing them go on like vacations together. Every time like we get new selfies with them, I'm so happy because they're just like good vibes. They're just like very pretty people. Everyone in that camp is just like,
I will say that I don't think that the Zhuik Schwinning camp are the best at teaching patterns or how to skate, but they seem to have a very, happy rink environment. The skaters that are there,
friends. They all go on.
Yeah, they close, and there's got to be a reason why they have skaters who stay with them for so long. And I think that that goes to show that there's obviously doing something right in terms of creating a good training environment for their skaters. So I'm happy for that. And all I'm gonna say is I hope we get another Samarskaya original masterpiece like what she did for oh my god, what was their names? She had to retire this season. It was so sad due to COVID.
Oh my God,
Shpelavaya and
oh my God.
I'm thinking Smolgan, but yeah, that
His
team.
name does not deserve to be said.
You know,
I'm sorry.
maybe it's for the best. I don't remember his name, but
For the best.
when they were at the like, was it Universiade? Anyway, they had a program that Samurskaya did that was just like amazingly fun in every way, and I hope we get something like that from teams. But yeah. But if while we're on Russia, we just got to talk about it. Stephanov and Buchan probably going to be shut out of the Grand Prix final by their assignments. I'm very sad for them.
I want to be sad, but I will
Yeah.
say this. I mean this in the kindest way because I say this out of love and because I'm a big fan of them. So no one can tell me I'm not. Because if you've seen my tweets, you know I'm a big fan of them, okay? I promise I am. I think we all just need to accept that they are very beautiful, beautiful people. Beautiful, beautiful friendship off ice, beautiful faces on ice. I think we all just need to accept that unfortunately they cannot skate anymore. And it's, I think it is,
you know,
it is sad that we're not going to see them at Grand Prix final, but
like,
you know, be more
maybe
like
something will happen. Ice is slippery. Things could happen. You know, you never know. People can make mistakes. Stuff, you know, stranger things have happened. It is ice dance, but you know, I think that her back injury has really plagued them. I don't think she looked like she was in good shape at Worlds. The lifts did not look good. I don't understand why their team didn't change them and make them
irresponsible.
And make them easier for her, because I genuinely, you know, obviously they had to miss most of the fall series in the Russian Cup series last fall because of Sasha's back injury and had to get treatment for it. And I worry about that for them this year. I just want them to be healthy. That way they, you know, God willing, they get invited to the Olympics, they can go.
They will this time because it's not going to be.
Oh, good. But yeah, I mean,
that's all. I'm honestly like, I'm happy about that. That they're even going to be allowed at the Olympics because of Vanya. But the thing is that they were like they're already like the rhythm dance scores were huge, right?
Yeah, I think that they scored
like ridiculously high for what they
were they fifth in the rhythm dance? I think they were fifth or sixth in the rhythm dance at Worlds. It was definitely like one of those, oh, all of the judges, we've made it to the final flight of skaters, and we're just gonna hit that level 4 button for everybody and hit that GOE button and not actually look at the skating, because the pattern for them was really rough. I mean, there's no denying that, but
they were fifth.
The scores didn't reflect that.
They were fifth, 83.02. That was a very rough rhythm.
Were they ahead of Piper and Paul in the rhythm dance? Yeah, I think they were, weren't they?
I think so.
Slightly.
I remember that it was.
Yeah, because weren't the Italians above the Stephanov and Buchan? I think they were, and they should be.
They should be. But it was a mess, and at that point, I was actually like, in my head, I was like, wait, they like are very much like they have support, and like if they put it together.
Well, I mean, I think what that was that because obviously Vika had so many issues with her COVID, and I don't think Victoria and Nikita even got back on the ice that they said until like 3 weeks before Worlds. I think obviously the Russian Federation was like panic pushing Stephanova and Buchan just in case, because they didn't know what was going to happen at Worlds. But obviously Victoria and Nikita showed up and did their job. So, but yeah, I'm going to be sad to not see them on, probably most likely not at the Grand Prix final. But I will say this, was shockingly surprised that Victoria and Nikita used their brain cells and picked NHK instead of Cup of China. After that interview, I was like, why are you going to go to Cup of China? This did not work out well for you last time. But I'm happy that Julin or whoever, or maybe it was the Federation, was like, no, you can't go to that event.
Well, they're turning their asses off. They're gonna have a good season. I know it.
Yeah, I just feel like ice dance is all about momentum, and I feel like Victoria and Nikita just have so much momentum right now
And they're
with
training so damn hard.
with you know that they're training like demons. You know, they have they're world champions now. They have that new level of status that they're going to have at competitions. And I just feel, I don't know, I've said it before, I waver back and forth, but I just have a feeling that they're going to ride this wave of momentum to the Olympics. I don't know why, I just do. You know, Papadakis and Cicerone are going to be doing Cup of China and IDF, which is what I thought, that's what I had predicted they were probably going to get because they're not seeded at World. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. I was super excited for Christina and Anthony, though, that, you know, they got their spots. I was hoping they were going to get Rastelicom after your interview with them. I wanted them to get that. I was like, no. I was like, no, I don't want them to go to International de Flop for ice conditions. But I am so excited for them. Like, so excited.
I'm excited. Okay, I'm excited about them not being able to go to Russia simply because I want him to meet his grandmother and I want her to cook for them and like visit them in competition.
You know, if Christina and Anthony are listening, you guys should buy Grandma Ponomarenko her ticket and send her to France to see you guys.
Oh my
Make
God,
it a trip.
So adorable. I am excited that Vanya and Sasha are going to be able to like hang out with Christina and Anthony because they are friends and both of their parents are Vanya and Anthony's parents are Olympic champions for non-ice dance fans. So they have a very cute friendship there. And Anthony is obviously Russian and we did learn that Christina knows Russian. So I think that's,
you know, I'm not surprised. She spent probably most of her life around Russian coaches. So, but yeah, I'm excited for them. And, you know, what I think is really interesting is that USFS, I feel like, has really, with these Grand Prix assignments, they're having these internal rivalries play out on the Grand Prix. So first we have Chalk Bates versus Hubble and Donahue at Skate America. Now, I'm not going to lie, I was very surprised when I saw that was happening because I thought for sure that they were going to be separated at different events. But my mindset is this: I do not think that USFS is 100% on the Maddie and Zach train. I think that we saw at nationals this year that, you know, had Evan not had the Twizzle error, I think that Chalk and Bates would have won nationals again. Whether, you know, I thought that's how it should have been or not, I think that that's what have happened. And I think that if, you know, they didn't have an off day at Worlds, I think that they were going to medal ahead of Hubble and Donahue because the judges just loved that snake drummer program so much. So I just get the vibe that USFS is still not 100% sold on Maddie and Zach. I think that I think this has not been a great quad for them. I think that the poor music choice selections during the first two seasons, they lost so much momentum. I mean, they were really kind of primed to be Gabby and Guillaume's rivals, and they just completely squandered the opportunity, in my opinion, that first season with those. Why were they doing Romeo and Juliet at their big old age? Like, I don't know why they did that program. It was just not the right program for them. And then I don't think that they were able to recover from Victoria and Nikita getting that momentum. And then obviously nothing will ever compare to how horrible those programs were with the My Heart Belongs to Daddy and the Stars Born. Like, I just think they lost so much momentum, and Chalk and Bates got a lot. If Maddie and Zach can show up though strong at Skate America, like strong, like they need to go to a senior B. Like, I don't think doing what they did 2 seasons ago and debuting at Skate America is the way to go. I think they need to go to a senior B. They need to debut their programs and get feedback. But if they do that and they show up strong at Skate America, then there's no doubt that they should beat Chalk and Bates. I mean, their skating skills are incomparable. Maddie and Zach are so much stronger. I've seen them skate live several times now. They have so much power, so much speed, and they have great skating skills. But it's ice dance, and half of the game is it's the program, it's the style, it's the presentation. And unfortunately, you know, Maddie and Zach, like, they just don't usually have all their ducks in a row for that part of the performance, but I hope that
Yeah.
they have good performances, and I hope that they hire Matthew Caron because they need to up the costume game for sure. Like it's just they need to do that. So we'll see. What do you think is gonna happen?
So they need to have like a Beth Hart 2.0 program. They need to. Like it is what they need. Like another sexy jazz, like,
Something upbeat, because I just, we know that Victoria and Nikita are doing Rachmaninoff. I assume that Gabby and Guillaume are probably going to do something in their lyrical classical style. I feel like Piper and Paul are probably going to do another schmaltzy Vincent 2.0, Joni 2.0. I want something exciting from Hubble and Donahue. Play to your strengths. Do something exciting. Do something bold. Lean into the. They have so much energy that they give off on the ice. Lean into it. They just did the soft lyrical Hallelujah, and that was fine for last season, but I don't want to see anything like that.
Yeah. They tend to get a lot of shit from, like, I hate this sounds like I have like some sort of like superiority complex. I swear to God I don't. But they get a lot of shit from like non-Ice Dance fans. Sometimes
Hubble and Donahue?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And like, sometimes for good reason. I don't really want to discuss facts. Like I really don't want to discuss his like, Twitter behavior, whatever. Whatever. But they do tend to get a lot of shit for their skating, which I think is a little unfair, but it's also partly their fault because they never end up showcasing their strengths by that. Like that's the issue, because in 2017 and 2018 I was actually like, I was a huge fan of their skating. Like I was such a huge fan of that free dance. Their twizzles were beautiful, excluding the Olympics, which blows for them. But I'm so happy the Shibutanis got that bronze medal at the Olympics. But besides that, they need to do another like jazzy, upbeat, like cool program, because I never want to see something like Romeo and Juliet and Hallelujah ever again from them.
Yeah, I think they're a team that I think really struggled with their identity a lot this season. I think that after what happened at the Olympics and then bouncing back at the World Championships in 2018, winning a world silver medal, I feel like they kind of wanted to maybe fill the void that Tessa and Scott left in terms of portraying a man and a woman on the ice, leaning into their romantic chemistry. And I just feel like it didn't feel organic. Like the programs felt forced. Like it felt forced. It felt like, and I remember listening to like an interview that they did, or I'm sorry, I read an interview that they did about like, well, we weren't really sure we wanted to skate it to, and Roman suggested we do Romeo and Juliet, and I was like, what? Like,
he is setting y'all up. He is
like, I was just like, oh, that man is smart. I was like, this man is smart. When these two were supposed to be Gabby and Guillaume's rivals. Sorry, not to say anything, like nefarious or anything, but
but it's like, I think it's
just
fair.
I just think I just thought that was interesting when she said that. But they need to do something like bold, nothing's lyrical at all. Oh, you gotta plug in your computer.
Are you lagging?
No, yours says low battery.
Let me try it.
Yeah, okay. But also I think it's really exciting that Carrera Ponomarenko and Green and Parsons are going to go against each other at, I believe, at Skate Canada, which is exciting because I think they're a team that's both going to be fighting for, they're both going to be trying to fight for, that bronze medal at nationals. And I think that Caroline and Michael are so talented. I think their Prince program was so fun. Like I hated how much I liked it because the age gap between them makes me uncomfortable. Like I'm just gonna say that, like it makes me uncomfortable. But the two of them are so talented and they're such charismatic performers. That program works so well. Like I honestly hope that they keep it and they bring it back, because I think that it would be such a moment at nationals. And if nationals had an audience this year, I think they would have had the performance of the night in the free dance, because that program is so fun. But yeah, I think it's really cool that we'll get to see Christina and Anthony and Caroline and Michael kind of duke it out at Skate Canada, and that might be a little preview for what happens at
I know. I'm very
nationals.
excited.
So.
We're also, me and Cece are going to be interviewing Caroline.
Oh,
soon.
that's exciting.
So I am excited for that. I do kind of want to hear I want to hear her thoughts, simply because this is, a fairly new partnership, and, she and her former partner had an illustrious career. So did Michael and
His
Rachel.
sister. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm excited to hear about them. Let's kind of quickly just gloss over like men's and pairs.
I'm gonna need you to lead the way on men's, because I saw a lot of like Russian names, and I was like, I don't remember who this man is. I was like, I don't know who this person is. I was really sad that Mark Kundratuk, I don't think I said his name right, but he didn't get a Grand Prix assignment. And I don't know if you watched the Russian Cup event, but he was like the breakout star of like the Channel One team trophy.
Yeah.
He was so much fun. I'm so sad he didn't get a Grand Prix spot.
Okay. I'm going to talk about that because it blows my mind and upsets me so much that Samsonov got 2 spots when, I hate to say it, he has been injured 24/7, and he deserves a break from skating. And I'm good for him that he's, able to kind of, come back from these injuries and stuff. But it's not fair to other skaters who have had such outstanding, recent seasons. And oh my God, it makes me so upset. And I am unsure of how Samsonov is actually going to skate because he has had health issues. For the past few years.
I'm gonna be honest, I cannot even remember who he is. Was he senior in 2019, 2020, or was he on the junior circuit?
I think you're talking about, I think you're confusing him for Peter.
For Peter Gumenik? Okay.
Yeah, who's lovely. I love his skating. But Samsonov went on vacation with Aliona and her brother.
That's who that is. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, no. Was Semenenko the one who went to the World Championships with Kolyada? Okay. Yeah, so I wasn't surprised that he got 2 because he went to Worlds. I think did he finish top 10? I think he did with Misha. So that makes sense why he got the 2 spots. Did Aliyev get 2 spots?
I think so. Let me check.
Okay. Because I wasn't sure if he did.
So Aliyev was placed on the reserve team, which is, so annoying.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy to think that he's the reigning European champion?
I know, and
that's crazy.
Samarin is getting all the backing, which I don't know what your thoughts on his skating.
He's not my favorite. I don't think he's the best performer. I'm drawn more to performance than the jumps a lot of the time for single skaters. So yeah, he's fine. That's kind of just my thoughts on him.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Aliyev got Cup of China and IDF, which is.
Okay. So he got 2.
Yeah. Semenenko got 2 as well. Obviously, Semenenko skating is not my favorite. And I'm actually like, I'm still like, I'm a big fan of him just because of like how well he did at Russian Cup final, and like everyone doubted him. Everyone doubted him going into Worlds, and he killed it. So good for him. I think that it is unfair to Peter, Mark, and other skaters who have kind of been pushed off to the side. I think the Samsonov thing is the most unfair to me.
Danielin, Artur Danielin got 2 spots too, right?
Did he?
I think he did, yeah, which made me happy because we didn't get to really see him last season, and I think he's great. He reminds me a lot of like a mini hobby, so I'm excited
I love
to
him.
see him.
I think he's such a lovely skater. Yeah, he did get 2 spots. Oh my God, good for him. I hope he's so good. Lovely skater.
And did Roman get Skate Canada?
Roman did get Skate Canada.
Yay! I'm so happy for him because I was really bummed for him, at least, that he didn't get to go to Worlds. So I'm really happy that he got the Skate Canada spot, and I hope that he has a good debut there.
He's
Because I want him
keeping.
to make the Olympic team.
I know.
I really like his skating.
Such a lovely skater. I love his like. Oh wait. I love his YouTube channel. I don't know if you've ever if you've
I've watched
watched
some of it. I just watched the
BTS.
I thought it was. I was like exactly, Roman, exactly. Give the
Yes.
people the content that they
Yes.
want.
Yes. Yes. I loved when like Ariana tried to make him go viral with all like the BTS
Oh
hashtags.
yeah,
Um,
yes, I agree. Yeah, I like him a lot though. But
yeah.
oh, also Nathan doing Scam
Yeah.
and Skate Canada back to
Back to
back.
back.
I think that that's a smart choice for him because I don't think, because he trains in California and Skate Canada is going to be, I think it's in Vancouver. He won't have to change time zones, or it'll be kind of quick for him,
Mhm.
and he'll have a lot of time to prep before the Grand Prix finals. So
Yeah, it's a good strategy. He knows exactly what he needs to change, what he needs to work on before Grand Prix final. You did mention that it does suck that Vincent got scammed over Jason.
I was so disappointed with that. I thought that Jason would get it.
I know.
Maybe I'm being delusional. I don't know.
I
I was
don't, I
just
don't think
like,
you're being delusional. Just based on how seating works, I think that it is kind of unfortunate that he didn't get
yeah.
scammed. But
Do you
Vincent,
think who do you think they're gonna send to Nebelhorn to get that men's spot? Because it can't be. Can Vincent go or
Yaroslav,
no?
Yaroslav. I don't know how to say his name, so I'm so
Oh, I forgot about him.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
he's gonna get that Olympic spot.
Do we think is he actually like does he have a shot of getting his citizenship before
Yeah,
the
he said he's
Olympics?
gonna get his citizenship in like 2021. Like I swear, like verbatim. He said
Oh,
that, yeah.
good. Okay, cool. So then, yeah, so then he actually like can be in contention.
But
Um,
Vincent did compete at Broadmoor Open, I believe, and he did really well. Like his scores were huge.
well, it's also Broadmoor.
It is, but just like based on the turnaround from Worlds and how he did at this
He
competition, I
was
don't know.
injured at Worlds, right? Wasn't that the whole thing that he
Yeah,
was
he didn't.
injured and he
Yeah,
didn't tell
that's fair.
USFS?
Yeah. I know.
Well,
I think the third spot is between him and Yaroslav. I think Jason is. People were like doubting. People were like, "Oh, like I don't want Yaroslav to kind of like take Jason's spot." But I think that Nathan is going to be first at nationals. Jason is going to be second, and it's between Vincent and Yaroslav for that third spot.
I think I can't imagine. And maybe it's just me, but like in my mind, I just feel like Nathan and Jason are like assumed to be on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then I'm like, it'll be
Yeah.
between Vincent and Yaroslav, even though obviously Vincent's tech content is so much higher than Jason's, but Jason is Jason, and
Jason's so good. He's
come on.
I know for a fact that he's just I think he's gonna put it together with the Schindler's List. And I don't do we know what he's skating to for a short program or
Yeah,
not?
he's bringing back Cinderman.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so he's
He's gonna have such a good season. I just know it. Such a beautiful skater. But yeah.
Yuzu at
Idea.
Rostelecom.
Rush Telecom, yes. Oh my god, I'm so happy for Yuzu because he is a Russia boo at heart. I think that
Is he? I didn't know that.
oh my god, yes he is. Yes he is.
I just knew he loved Plushenko, or he like admired him.
He loves Russia. I have a theory that if he had the chance, he would skate for Russia.
Well, you know what? It never hurts to skate while Russian. So.
But I'm excited for him to see his grandmother, Tatiana Tarasova. I know that she's going to be super happy. She's gonna. I know she's gonna post like 10 times the minute he steps foot in Russia in Sochi, and I think that they're gonna take so many pictures with each other, and it's gonna be adorable. I hate her. Don't get me wrong. I hate her. She's a demon. I feel like I'm so like honest this episode, but
yeah, maybe it's because I'm. I just bring that out.
I'm being a little too honest, but yeah. But her relationship with Yuzu is honestly so cute.
I'm happy. I'm really happy that Yuzu's doing Rostelecom because I just feel like he I just think performing in front of an audience, obviously for every skater, but like he really thrives off of audience energy. And no two events are going to have a better audience than Rostelecom and NHK.
Yeah.
So that'll be cool. But yeah, moving to pairs. I have to say I wasn't surprised, but I was very disappointed for Evelyn and Trent that Skate Canada like shafted them and gave this home spot to Vanessa and Eric. I'm not surprised though. but I was disappointed for them because I just think they've worked so hard this quad and they have a lot of room left to grow. But, I just, it feels like being pushed, like they're kind of being pushed aside for Vanessa and
Yes,
Eric.
but Trent and Michael Marinero have that podcast with each other, and it feels like they've already given up.
I
And
haven't listened to it, but I have seen you guys, I've seen people
yeah,
discussing it
yeah.
online. And, I feel like I'm obviously not a skater and I've never been in that type of situation, but I feel like when you feel like your back is against the wall, you're either going to sink or swim. And I hope that and this applies to both like KMT and Michael and Evelyn and Trent. I'm like, I hope that they just put everything they have into their summer training and just focus on doing the best that they can, because I think that the only thing that will really stop them from both getting those Olympic spots is going to be them in a way, because I think
Mhm.
that they have the power to perform to the best of their ability, and that's all that they can do. And I feel like I don't want them to head case and make mistakes, because I think if that happens, then that opens the door more for Vanessa and Eric. And I mean, I'm like, keep in mind, guys, I'm like, you're so young, like you're in your 20s, like
Mhm.
for Evelyn and Trent, I'm like, you're like 10 years younger than these people. Like
Mhm.
Eric is like 37,
Mhm.
37 years old. He's had so many like back injuries. Like you guys can do this. Like you just have to
Yeah,
focus and don't be defeatist about it. Like I think I
yeah.
totally think it's fine to be upset right now and have your feelings about it and talk it out, but then you got to just put it aside and get to work, because all you can do is focus on you and your training. That's it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that if I were in their position, I would also be like gutted, obviously. But I
Yeah.
think publicly proclaiming that your situation, oh my God, like
Yeah, I saw that. I haven't listened to it, but I saw it.
I have not listened to it. I just like, have seen like the quotes from the interview, but Caitlin proclaiming that her life has been kind of like ruined because of Tessa and Scott coming back is funny. And I'm not going to say anything about that because I don't want to be obnoxious. Or,
I just think, look, Caitlin is entitled to feel how she
yeah,
feels. I can't imagine
yeah,
being her and
yeah, yeah, yeah,
living your most of my career in the shadow of the
yeah.
greatest ice dancers of all time, someone of Tessa and Scott's level. But,
Yeah.
I think every skater has to believe they're the best
Mhm.
to do
Yeah,
this sport.
yeah.
And so I'm not surprised that she feels that way. I don't agree with a lot of the comments
Mhm.
that she
Yeah,
made,
yeah,
but you know what?
yeah.
This is her life and career. So,
Exactly. You're
and
right.
I don't fault Michael and Trent at all for wanting to talk to her about it, because even though I don't think the situations are comparable from like an outsider's perspective, I think that they were more so coming from like, how does like
Yeah,
you've been in a situation where you felt
yeah,
like
yeah,
you were
yeah.
pushed aside by the federation for somebody
Mhm.
else, and that's kind of how we feel right now. So like I totally understand why they
Totally.
would want to talk to her about that. So
And I think it is nice that, Trent especially is being honest because, um, Kristen, I don't know.
um Kirsten, I think it's
Kirsten,
Kirsten.
Kirsten has been very honest and open, and so has Megan about their thoughts about Eric coming back. If you've seen, Kristen's
Yeah,
Twitter, like she's not a fan of
she's
the fact.
pissed and she has every right to
Yeah,
be. I don't blame
she's
her.
every right to be, and I'm very glad that Trent is being open about it. I hope that he knows and Evelyn knows that they are so young, and you don't gain anything from proclaiming that you're already being pushed away for Eric and Vanessa, because you totally have a shot. You totally have a shot at making this Olympic team. And I hope they don't throw this away and kind of are, in their head think like, oh yeah, we have next quad, like it's okay. Because they have, they have such a big shot at making this team, but it is their
I
time.
think it's all going to really come down and be in their hands. I think they have the power to skate clean, to do the best that they can. And at the end of the day, that's all that they can do. Whatever's, Eric and Vanessa are going to skate how Eric and Vanessa are going to skate. Um, you know, who knows what's going to happen in terms of the elephant in the room.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is,
Mm-hmm.
but I
Yeah,
just think both of these teams got to focus on themselves, and that's
you're
all you
right.
can do. But
Right.
yeah, and another thing that I thought was interesting is that Jessica and Brian are not going to be on the Grand Prix series. as of now. I am very sad about this. I actually really like them
I do
as a
too.
team. I think they are very, very talented. They have a beautiful, beautiful twist. I think that Jessica is a gorgeous pairs lady. They have beautiful lifts. I think they have good performance quality. I actually saw them live at 2020 Nationals when they had the free skate moment of the night for the pairs event. They were beautiful, and I'm just, I'm sad that we're not going to see them, because in a way I do feel that this is kind of taken away the hopes that they had of making the Olympic team, because after nationals, I was like very firmly Alexa and Brandon and Jessica and Brian are like number 1 and 2, but missing worlds and now missing the Grand Prix, I'm just kind of like, no, I don't want them to not make the Olympic team. But
I mean, it's clear that there's, I guess, stuff going on behind the scenes. Because they did do so well at nationals, and I think they missed it. It sucks. But I think that we'll probably get more news.
It'll come out. News will come out. But I wish them the best. I hope that they're doing well. I saw a clip of them on Instagram like yesterday. I think they were practicing their twist. It looked really good. So hopefully all is well with them. And Chelsea and Danny got a Skate America spot. Saw a clip of them from On Ice Perspectives. They look really good. Skating to Taylor Swift. So good for them. Who do you think is going to get the host spot at Skate America? I was like, who's going to get
that? The skaters who have potentially broken up.
Oh, you're right. Aside from them, I forgot about that. Never mind. Forgot about that. But
because other than them,
like, is it going to be like Mervin and
Olivia,
his partner, Mervin and Olivia, or Spencer and Emily? I don't know.
Well, I'm actually surprised that Tara. I mean, I don't know anything. I'm not going to pretend I know the details of her partnership, but we do know that Tara Kane and her boyfriend.
Is that how she pronounces her name? I thought it was Tara.
Tara Kane.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was like, am I pronouncing her name?
No, I think it's Tara. You're probably right. But her boyfriend is former partners. Is the former partner of Kate Finster. Kate Finster, I think that's her name.
Oh, okay.
And I am surprised that they have not partnered up, if they haven't already, because they haven't been listed to like Danny and Chelsea have to that like list of international the team envelope. So I don't think it's happening then.
Yeah, but Tarasov and Morsov and Boykova and Kozlovsky are going to be at Skate America. It'll be an interesting showdown between the two of them. Obviously, we know that Sasha and Dima ended up ahead of them, of Tarasov and Morozov at Worlds. So it'll be interesting to see, what Tarasov and Morozov look like now that they work with a Terry. I don't know if anyone saw the footage of them working on their choreography for Claire de Lune with a Terry and Julin, but it was very weird to me to see a Terry positioning like a grown man and woman. Like it just felt weird to me. But we'll see how they look. Alexa and Brandon obviously have a shot at medaling at this event. I'm sure that that's their goal. For Skate Canada, I'm excited that Sui and Han are going there. I don't know why I was surprised. Like, I guess I thought that Mishina and Galyamov would pick maybe Cup of China. Or no, sorry, they wouldn't pick Cup of China. I thought that they would maybe want to do Skate Canada. But I guess not.
So interesting that Tarasova and Morozov are facing off Buchan. They're also going to face Mishina and Galyamov at NHK Trophy. It's going to be rough for them. I will say that. It's going to be rough for them because prior to this season, the kind of their competitors were exclusively Sasha and Dima because they had always been fighting for that number 1 spot in Russia. Like they have been for the past couple of months, and no one expected Nastia and Sasha to win Worlds. No one expected it. So it's gonna be rough for them, but I think that they totally are gonna benefit from being with a Terry. I think Julin choreography is actually going to be excellent for them simply because they do, no offense, boring classical music best. I think that's what they could stick with.
I mean, look, this is the team that skated to Candyman for the Olympics.
Yeah. Which is why I'm like,
anything is an improvement.
Yeah.
I think the Claire de Lune will be generically lovely.
Yeah.
I don't think, in my opinion, that they are I don't think that they have the performance quality to really carry this music though, because I think it's such a subdued piece that you really need a very expressive performer to kind of convey this. But when Tarasova and Morozov are on, their elements are so beautiful. They speak for themselves. Like, you're not really watching the performance from them, you're just kind of in awe of their skating. So if they can skate clean, I think they'll be fine. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the Russian teams go against each other. Sui and Han are going to be at Skate Canada, and then they're going to do Cup of China back to back, which I think is interesting, but I guess the time change isn't going to be too bad because Skate Canada is on the West Coast. So do you think that they're gonna just stay in Canada for like the month before, maybe with Lori, and just kind of train there?
I think that they definitely will. Lori loves them. And I think she is going to give it her all to make them Olympic champions. And I think it's an honor. They are going to benefit so much from that momentum from the Grand Prix season going into Grand Prix final. They're going to win Grand Prix final. I cannot think of I'm knock on wood that's going to happen, but I can't think of a scenario that's not going to happen if they're healthy.
I feel like for Sui and Han, like they have to do the Grand Prix. They can't afford not to. They have to do the Grand Prix. And I really feel that for them, it's mainly going to come down to getting mileage on the programs and just staying in good health as much as they can, because I think that they both had health issues. I think Kong didn't he have like a hip replacement surgery this past year? Like, they've had major health issues. I just think as long as they can get good mileage on the programs and stay healthy, they have obviously a fantastic shot of winning the Olympics. But we'll see. I hope that, I imagine that they are retiring Rain in Your Black Eyes after 3 years. I'm not gonna lie, I'm ready to see that program retired.
Oh my God, yeah, I know. I think that with them, it's just bye, love you. Okay.
Sometimes it just be that way. We can edit that.
What are you talking about?
Sui and Han programs.
I feel like this is going to, I don't know how to say this. I don't know how to say this correctly, but because they are so injury prone, they unfortunately do need to compete as much as they can. Because that's their issue, is that they don't. And they keep missing out on competitions, which hurts their momentum. And that's why it was so shocking for everyone that MG had won Worlds. And Sui Han, they weren't clean. But I honestly, do you think that like if they had kind of been competing the season before consistently and had kind of had that momentum, they would have still won Worlds with a not clean skate?
Honestly, I think a lot of it was not seeing Sui and Han much. Like you said, I think, when you look at this COVID season that we had, aside from the Grand Prix events, and I'm saying that loosely because they were really more like mini nationals events, the only skaters that we saw nonstop were the Russians. And in a season where there really wasn't much skating, I think, of course, international judges and coaches are watching the Russian Cup Series, they're watching the Channel One Team Trophy, they're seeing the momentum that Mishina and Galyamov were building, even though obviously they had a very poor nationals. They didn't medal at nationals. But I think it was clear that this is a team that the Russian Federation likes, that they wanted to push, and that had the potential, obviously, to skate clean. And I just think that not seeing Sui and Han so much. Also, I'm gonna just say it. I think coming back with Rain in Your Black Eyes for a third year in a row, I just think judges, they're human. I think they just get tired of seeing these programs. And, even though I'm not a fan of Mishin and Galyamov and I didn't really like their programs, like I can see why people would find them exciting, judges would find them exciting. And I think, when you skate clean to a program where you're literally skating to "We Are the Champions" and you're Russian and, you've been competing all season and you're primed and, you're ready to go for Worlds. Like, in the back of my head, I did think that there was a shot that Mishin and Galyamov could win Worlds. I didn't want them to, but I definitely thought that there was a shot that they could do it. And I wasn't, I don't want to say that I wasn't surprised, but I think I was just like so shook that I was like, it really did happen though. Like this team, like debuting at Worlds, just came in and beat Sui and Han, but Sui and Han weren't clean. And I really think that the Rain in Your Black Eyes for the third year in a row, I think the judges were just like, no, sorry, this excited us more.
Well, we're going to get new programs, which is super, super awesome. We need new programs from them.
I hope that they don't do like another rock short. Like I feel like they've done like a lot of, Blues for Kluk was really good when they first did it. And then I didn't like the short program they did in the 2019-2020 season. That wasn't my thing. I hope that they do something different. And I hope for the free, they do something kind of like maybe in the vein of Bridge Over Troubled Water, because I think that was such a great program. But yeah, we're gonna see nothing, no Turandot again. I don't want to see that again.
Yeah.
I didn't like that program. But
they know that they need to give it their all, and they will. So Paris is not too like shocking or like interesting. Like in terms of the grand assignments.
I don't know if you feel this way, but for me, Pairs this quad has been very underwhelming compared to how much more interesting I think it was last quad. I think aside from Sui and Han, Voykova Kozlovsky, and kind of now bringing Mishin and Galyamov into the picture in the Russians versus Sui and Han, and even Peng and Jin at times, it just hasn't been, it's just, this isn't the best quad. I think, devaluing quad elements for pairs has hurt the sport. I don't think we're seeing teams that are trying new things as much. Moskvina gave an interview like a month or two ago that I thought was really interesting, where she basically said, like, of course my skaters want to try quad elements, but until it's worth it to, I'm not going to risk injury for them. And I agree. So I hope that changes next quad.
I do too. I think it's I think it is definitely good for Sui and Han though. I think it's in terms of like, injuries and stuff, and it's been good for them. But otherwise, I honestly have been very invested in like junior Russian skaters. Like, Team Moser skaters, they have like she has like an army of, teenagers now.
She is like back, man. Like she kind of like disappeared for a couple years. Kostukovic. I don't know how to pronounce it.
She's wanted her for a while, which is big. So I'm excited to see how she does. And PK are hopefully going to do well next season.
And I was gonna say Pamfilova and Rylov. I really hope he's doing well. I guess he had to have surgery. I wonder if it was something sinus related, like when
it's genetic.
Oh, okay.
And like it apparently was just like it got worse with training. So I don't think that they're gonna be they didn't get any Grand Prix assignments, which so bad.
That sucks for them. But you know what? I hope that I think his health has to come first. So I hope that they take the time for him to really heal. And if they have to call the season a loss, focus on healing and trying to come back really strong for the next quad. So we'll see. But the only other thing I have on pairs is I really hope, I don't care if it's 3 seasons of it, I want Peng and Jin to keep the Cloud Atlas skate. It is honestly, I'd be fine with them keeping the Somewhere in Time and the Cloud Atlas, because I think they're both beautiful programs, and I still don't think that they've had their like show-stopping moment with the Cloud Atlas free skate. And I want them to have that in Beijing.
Yeah.
Like, I just think that program is so beautiful.
Yeah, 100%. I'm interested though in IDF because you did note that Vanessa.
I am
Yeah.
surprised in a way that Eric got invited there, obviously because of her past with skating for France with Morgan. But she obviously skated for France for a very long time. She must have fans there, probably. I don't know. Natalie probably thought it would be a draw. I don't know. But yeah, that is.
I don't even think France cares anymore, simply because I think that Natalie has. It sucks to say it, but I think that she simply wanted to get this off of her hands, and
I heard that. I had heard that Natalie didn't initially want to, and again, this is all alleged, but that Natalie didn't initially want to release Vanessa, but she kind of realized that it wasn't worth the headache of keeping her on with everything connected with Morgan. So she gave her the release. So yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I wondered, do we know, I'm so sorry, I can't remember their names. The team that Moscovina just brought on, do we think they're going to be senior, or are they going to be in the junior circuit? Because I'm wondering if they're senior, if they could get the host spot for Russell.
I think that they're going to be seniors.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if one of them's aged out or what. I'm sorry, I can't even remember their names. And just like the new Moscovina team, they were really, really good. I think at the Russian Cup final, like I couldn't believe that. I think she's only been doing like pair skating for like a year and a half or something. She's incredible. I expect this team to really move up in the next year or two. So
yeah, that's one thing is that I actually understand like kind of why people think pairs is like a boring event, especially if you've only started watching if you've only started seriously following skating this quad, because last quad I was a huge pairs fan for the reason that Sarah mentioned, because of like the ultra C elements in pairs, and it made pairs so damn exciting. And the reason for devaluing quad twists, quad throws is because there was a huge injury risk there, and they wanted pair skating to become, they wanted pair skaters to become more consistent. That has not happened at all. I think it's actually gotten worse, and you're seeing top pair skaters fall on triple jumps, triples, throws, twists and stuff, which sucks. But I think that they need to start valuing quads again in pairs. So I do hope that next season people start to pay more attention to pairs, simply because I think that there's going to be a lot of excitement with the Russian pairs specifically. But yeah, I think that's about it. Is there anything else?
No, other than if we're venturing out into the wider world of sports, the news today about Sha'Carri Richardson, I feel for her, because when you're going through, you find out devastating news like she did about her mom passing away, and you have to compete. We're all humans. We don't always react the way that we maybe is in the best interest of us in the long run. But I just think at the end of the day, it's weed. These athletes, they're all, I'm sorry, I don't want to say they're all, but so many of them are taking substances far worse. I don't think that weed was going to increase her ability to run faster at her events, and it was legal in the state that she took it. Obviously, though, she's an athlete. She knew that she couldn't do it, and that it violated international standards, and these are the consequences. But I hope that she can still compete in
She's gone a
Tokyo, even
1 month,
after
yeah.
the event. But
Yeah, I mean, she's gone a 1 month suspension from the Olympic team, and she's not going to be able to compete in the 100 meter, I believe, event, which fucking blows because she got first Olympic trials. It sucks, and it's less about, you know, whether she should have known, which she did. She knew that she was breaking rules, but it's important for, I guess, people to understand that weed makes you sluggish. It, like, I if you've ever consume marijuana, it makes you sluggish. It makes you, it's not a performing enhancing drug. And
yeah,
it
and
sucks.
I just think the thing that when I saw the news that first came to my mind is I think we've opened up a wide, it just kind of highlights the disparities, in my opinion, in what these anti-doping agencies and the IOC go after versus what they don't go after. Like when I
Yeah.
saw this news, the first thing that came to my mind was Icarus, that documentary.
Yeah.
And I was just like, look at the shit that Russia and other athletes all over the world get away with. And then you have a situation like this where it's like, yeah, you know what? She screwed up. You know, she knew she shouldn't have done this. She did it. She was going through a hard time. She's human. She made a mistake. Okay. But, you know, it upsets me when I think about how someone like her, Sha'Carri, who's so young, is gonna lose out on, you know, participating in an event that she might have been able to win, when we've got, you know, we've got countries that have state sponsored doping who, you know, the most they get is a slap on the wrist for the Olympics. You can't hear your anthem. Okay. You know, it's just, I think that would be a whole separate episode though on anti-doping and the disparities and, you know, treatment and punishments. But yeah, I don't know. I wish her the best though, and I hope that she's still able to compete somewhat in Tokyo.
Yeah. I don't think that she will be able to. It really sucks, but yeah, we're definitely going to do another episode specifically on doping, because I have annoyed everyone who follows me on Twitter with my hyperfixation on doping history and violations. It's something that I'm just so interested in. Like Sarah mentioned, the disparities between people getting banned for like stupid shit like THC and cold medicine. And there's something that we've seen for years, even though state-sponsored doping programs exist. And I think that's about it.
Yeah.
Thank
We
you
hope
so
you
much,
guys
Sarah.
enjoyed.
Thank you so much, Sarah. It is so late for you, so I hope you get a good night's sleep.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I hope you all enjoyed this very long episode. Thank you, Sarah. We also have an astrology episode that we're going to be releasing with Sarah and Cece. So, yeah, peace out, everyone.
Yeah, thanks, guys.